Genesis 12. Then Adonai said to Abram, get going from your land, and from your relatives, and from your father's house to the land that I will show you. My heart's desire is to make you into a great nation, to bless you, to make your name great so that you may be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, but whoever curses you I will curse, and in you all the families of the earth will be blessed. So Abram went, just as Adonai had spoken to him. Also Lot went with him. Now Abram was 75 years old, and he departed from Haran. Abram took Sarai, his wife, and Lot, his nephew, and all their possessions that they had acquired, and the people that they acquired in Haran, and they left to go to the land of Canaan, and they entered the land of Canaan. Abram passed through the land as far as the place of Shechem, as far as Moreh's big tree. The Canaanites were in the land then. Then Adonai appeared to Abram and said, I will give you this land to your seed. So there he built an altar to Adonai, who had appeared to him. From there he moved to the mountain to the east of Bethel, and erected his tent, with Bethel to the west and Ai to the east. There he built an altar to Adonai, and called on the name of Adonai. So Abram kept on journeying southward. Now there was a famine in the land, so Abram went down to Egypt to live as an outsider there, because the famine was severe in the land. Just as he was about to enter Egypt, he said to Sarai his wife, look, please, I know that you are an attractive woman, so when the Egyptians see you, they'll say, this is his wife, and they'll kill me, they'll let you live. Please say that you are my sister, so that I'll be treated well for your sake, and my life will be spared because of you. When Abram came to Egypt, the Egyptians did see that the woman was very beautiful. Indeed, Pharaoh's officials saw her, and they raved about her beauty to Pharaoh. Then the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house, but Abram was treated well for her sake, and he got sheep, cattle, male donkeys, male and female slaves, female donkeys, and camels. But Adonai struck Pharaoh and his household with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. So Pharaoh called Abram and said, what's this you did to me? Why didn't you tell me that she is your wife? Why did you say she is my sister? So that I took her to be my wife. Now here is your wife. Take her and go. Then Pharaoh instructed men concerning him, and they expelled him with his wife and everything that belonged to him. Genesis 13. So Abram went up from Egypt, he and his wife and everything that belonged to him, and Lot with him, to the Negev. Now Abram was very rich in livestock, silver, and gold. He proceeded by stages from the Negev as far as Bethel, to the place where his tent had been at the beginning between Bethel and Ai, to the place of the altar that he had made there at first, and there Abram called on the name of Adonai. Now Lot, who was going with Abram, also had sheep, cattle, and tents, so that the land could not support them living together, because their possessions were many, and they were not able to stay together. So there were a quarrel between the shepherd of Abram's livestock and the shepherds of Lot's livestock. Now the Canaanites and the Perizzites were living in the land then. So Abram said to Lot, please, let there be no strife between me and you, or between my shepherds and yours, since we are relatives. Isn't this the whole land before you? Please separate yourself from me. If to the left, then I'll go to the right, and if to the right, then I'll go to the left. Lot lifted up his eyes and saw that the whole area surrounding the Jordan was well watered in its entirety. For Adonai destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah like Adonai's garden, like the land of Egypt, till he come to Zoar. So Lot chose for himself the whole area surrounding the Jordan. Lot journeyed to the east, and they separated from each other. Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the valley, and he moved his tent from place to place near Sodom. But the people of Sodom were evil, very great sinners against Adonai. After Lot separated himself from Adonai, had said to Abram, lift up your eyes now and look from the place you are, to the north, east, south, and west. For all the land that you are looking at I will give you and your seed forever. I'll make your seed like the dust of the earth, so that if one could count the dust of the earth, then your seed would also be counted. Get up, walk about the land through its length and width, for I will give it to you. So Abram moved his tent from place to place, and came and dwelt by Mamre's large trees, which are in Hebron, and built an altar to Adonai. Genesis 14. Now it came about in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of Goam, that they made war with Bera, king of Sodom, Bersha, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Admah, Shemabar, king of Zeboim, and king of Bela, this is Zoar. And these kings joined forces in the valley of Sidon. This is the Salt Sea. For 12 years they had served Chedorlaomer, but in the 13th year they rebelled, In the 14th year, Chedorlaomer came with kings who were with him, and they defeated the Rephaim in Ashtaret Karnaim, and the Zuzim in Ham, and the Imin in Shaveh Kiriatim, and the Horites in the hill country of Seir as far as El Paran, which is beside the wilderness. And they came again to En Mishpat, this is Kadesh, and they subdued all the territory of the Amalekites as well as the Amorites who live in Hazazon Tomar. Then the king of Solomon, the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, this is Zoar, went out and lined themselves up for battle with them in the valley of Siddim against Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, Tidal, king of Goim, Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Ariak, king of Elasar, 4 kings against 5. Now the valley of Siddim was full of tar pits, and as the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, they fell into them, and those who remained fled to the hills. So they took of all of Sodom and Gomorrah's possessions and their food and left. They also took Lot, Abram's nephew, and his possessions, and they left, as he was living in Sodom. Then a survivor came and told Abram, the Hebrew, who was dwelling by the large trees belonging to Mamre the Amorite, the brother of Eshcol and the brother of Anod. They were Abram's allies. When Abram heard this, that his kinsmen had been taken captive, he rallied and trained them, those born in the household, 318 of them, and went in pursuit as far as Dan. Then he divided his servants against them at night, and he defeated them and pursued them as far as Hova, which is north of Damascus. He brought back all the possessions and also brought back his kinsman Lot and his possessions, as well as the women and other people. Now after he returned from defeating Chedorlaomer, and the kings who were with him, the king of Sodom went out to meet him in the valley of Shaveh. This is the king's valley. Then Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine. He was a priest of El Elyon. He blessed him and said, Blessed by Abram, by El Elyon, creator of heaven and of earth, and blessed be El Elyon, who gave over your enemies into your hand. Then Abram gave him 1/10 of everything. Then the king of Sodom said to Abram, Give me the people, the possessions. Take for yourself. But Abram said to the king of Sodom, I raise my hand in an oath to Adonai, El Elyon, creator of heaven and earth. Not a thread or even a sandal strap of all that is yours will I take. So you will not say, I've made Abram rich. I claim nothing but what the young men have eaten, and share it the men who went with me. Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre, let them take their share.